All right, welcome to our second episode of Canes Baseball Great Lakes College Spotlight Series. This is Brian Blondell, owner and director of baseball operations. Each week, we're going to connect with several of our former players playing at the collegiate level and see how things are going for them, both individually and as a team. And today, we're excited to have junior left-handed pitcher Brett Wozniak from High Point University joining us. Brett, how's it going today, bud?
It's going great. Thank you for having me. Can't wait to share the knowledge,
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's go ahead and start. Just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and we'll kind of dive right on in.
So Brian already kind of said this. I'm junior left-hander from High Point. I'm from Garden Grove, California, and I went to Cypress High School, and I went to Kansas State my freshman year, transferred back to the junior college level at Golden West in Huntington Beach, California, and then now I'm at High Point University.
Excellent. How long you been playing, Brett? How long you been playing baseball, and where did you play when you were growing up?
I've been playing baseball. I touched the baseball first time I stepped on a field since the day before my 4th birthday, so I've been playing kind of a long time. And honestly, I played all over the place. I played travel team in California. I played travel team with the good old Michiana Scrappers in Indiana.
That's right.
But I've been everywhere, and I've kind of been blessed to playing every single side of the country, and it's just kind of shaped the kind of baseball player I am, because everywhere is different, and you just gotta kind of adapt.
Yeah, what a unique experience that was, right? Just running in and meeting each other in Omaha, and what a relationship it's kind of built between your family and mine, and getting to watch you kind of grow since I think it was like 10 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It's been a while.
That's awesome. Yeah. Hey, so Brett, as you think, obviously you've got a lot of experiences. You've been playing for a while now. Obviously, you stated you played at Kansas State. You went to the junior college level after your first year. Now you're over at High Point. As you kind of think back and reflect on your baseball so far, who do you think has had the biggest impact on you as a coach growing up, and maybe why?
So growing up, I've had a couple coaches that just came in my life for different reasons. Obviously, you're one of them. My dad's obviously been my coach since I was out of the womb. And then guys, Jeff Burries, his son plays at Grand Canyon. We were on a travel team for a while. He just kind of taught me how to, control the controllables and control just my breathing and stuff like that. And then also Jesse Martinez. He was like my childhood coach when I actually played for the Scrappers, and he just kind of just told me to be who I am, and that's been me ever since. And honestly, now one coach, also John Weber, my high school coach, he's been in my corner since day one, and he's just kind of helped me lead, pave my way through this whole college thing. But one that kind of stands out at the end of the day is I was in Danville, Illinois for summer ball last year, and was Ron Polk, and he's the legendary Mississippi State coach. And honestly, he doesn't have to really say anything to you. He just kind of has to watch you and just kind of has to acknowledge you. But honestly, he just kind of made the biggest impact on me, just kind of who he is and how he knows the game, and just kind of just a nice guy. And that's just kind of why all those guys have been a bigger impact in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're around the game, obviously as you continue to grow up and you get the opportunity to kind of play with, a lot of different people, obviously everything brings somebody, or, everybody brings something different to the table. I mean, I love what you said with the controllables, right? I mean, that's, in the game of baseball, there's just so many different things. And obviously you've kind of had that opportunity to experience a lot of that with some of the venues you've played at, right? And sometimes there's only certain things we can control as baseball players. And we can kind of get ourselves caught up in all the other stuff that goes on around us. But, being able to have a calm mind, control everything we do, and just kind of stay in the moment. I think is huge. So I think that's awesome. That's good to hear. So, hey, so obviously, again, talking about starting at Kansas State, going to a junior college. Tell me about that process. Obviously, you're committed out of high school, Division I. You make the change, to go junior college, and then how do you end up at High Point? And I know going through the transfer portal was a challenge, so I think that's some good information for our listeners to hear kind of that process right now.
Yeah, so out of high school, actually my junior year I was at Nebraska, and then I decommitted from there and ended up at Kansas State. But I attended Kansas State out of high school, and obviously Power Five, Big 12, it's all kind of name brand. You kind of hear about it everywhere, but like that, honestly, that kind of out of high school was my mindset. Like it had the football, had just the school aspect, and also the baseball aspect. Because I mean, at the time, it was just like not a top 5 team in the conference, and I'm gonna have a chance to go play. And then obviously COVID hit. But when I was there, like one of the just playing baseball, like and stuff like that, even though I didn't get a lot of playing time, it was a good experience for me in that realm. But I chose to go like leave there and go to the junior college route because I wanted to play. And in order to get to where like you want to go is like you have to play, you have to pitch, you have to get the at bats, and I wasn't really gonna get that in year 2. So I just made the leap, and that I was actually with you in the midst of the whole transfer portal thing out in Indiana. And that was actually kind of wild because you kind of saw it firsthand with all the coaches, and like you were actually helping me. We got Butler and all them schools. But at the end of the day, like you can't really go to school unless you kind of visit it and like meet the coaches in person. Um, so the junior college route like was the way to go for me personally, and I wouldn't really change a thing about it. Yeah, you wish you could stay and stuff like that, but the junior college level, like you get the at bats, and I got the innings that I wanted, and evidently, like I threw 80 innings, and that's the first like actual baseball I kind of played in 2 years because of the whole COVID shutdown, and then I got 16 innings my freshman year. Um, but coming out of JUCO, it was kind of hard getting like kind of offers and stuff like that because you obviously didn't really play the senior year, and you obviously didn't play your freshman year, and they're kind of just going based on like your junior college year. And High Point came to the table and gave me the opportunity to go play and go pitch and kind of be who I want to be, and not really change who I am, but like there was also development in the picture, what they offered. And honestly, it was a good package deal, good area to play baseball in, and obviously a great coaching staff here. And that's honestly the reason why I'm here, not just because it used to be pick the school, but now it's like pick the pick the guys that are going to help develop you and get you to the next level.
Yeah, excellent, man. I think that's the journey isn't the same for everybody, right? I mean, and I think ultimately at the end of the day, you got to find what's the right fit. I agree from finding where that development is at and getting you the opportunity to get on the field is obviously the most crucial thing that I think any kid wants, right? Because for most it's going to end up being probably the last 4 years, and so having those opportunities where they can go out and truly play, contribute, be a part of a team, I think is awesome. So I'm glad that as much of a rocky road as it was, through that transfer portal and through everything. I think, you did a lot of the things, correct. And it was definitely not easy. There was moments I know for you that was definitely a challenge. So I'm glad it's working out. I mean, it looks like obviously, I mean, for the vast majority, I mean, you guys are off to, you were off to a decent start. You hit a little bit of a downward stretch now. I think as I was looking through things, I mean, right now you got, 5 starts on the year, 1-1, about 27 2/3 innings pitched. So you're definitely getting some opportunities, coming off of a little bit of an injury. I mean, tell me. I guess I have to ask this question though. I mean, tell me what it was like pitching against, a top 10 ranked Alabama opponent at Alabama. Probably a little over 3,000 fans there. I mean, what was that experience like?
So that's a funny thing because my dream has always been to play in the SEC, and so going to Alabama, kind of fulfilled that part of the dream. Not really playing the SEC, but playing in an SEC stadium and like an SEC team. And honestly, it wasn't even the baseball that I was kind of like locked into. It was more so like the atmosphere and actually playing in front of people for the first time in a while, like that type of crowd. Um, and just kind of being there and soaking it all in. Um, but once I got on the mound at Alabama, it was just another game and kind of soaking in that moment. Like it felt like a big moment in like my pitching career and stuff like that. And I feel like just kind of soaking it all in and not getting too out of the moment, just kind of helped me, um, pitch by pitch and kind of just out there. And obviously having my parents in the stands was kind of cool too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Anytime you can have your parents in the stands, that's always pretty cool. So no, I got to watch that game. I know, so that was kind of fun. Kind of just obviously seeing that kind of raw emotion that I know, making some big plays. Defense made some really nice plays behind you, especially your middle infield guys made a couple really nice plays for you. So that was pretty cool. How do you think, season wise for you? How would you rate your season for you individually right now?
Honestly, not really up to my expectations of how I thought I was going to perform. But if you really think about it, um, me and my dad were talking about this a lot. Like this season is actually kind of like just a recreation of like my freshman year because I'm actually getting to pitch, and I'm like it's like kind of new to Division 1 baseball, even though I'm not,
Yeah.
because just kind of like throw being in the mix every weekend and throwing every weekend is a lot different than getting innings up 16-0 or down 16-0. And you laugh at it, but it's kind of
It makes
so
a big
true.
difference, doesn't
It's a
it?
big difference. But I mean, there's some bright spots and there's some negative spots, but all in all, like that's just how the season goes, and you just kind of have to adapt and just kinda show up every week even if you're down in the trenches and stuff like that, mentally and physically, and you just gotta keep on coming. It doesn't matter how the season's going, because at the end of the day, when the game's over, it don't matter.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. No, I think that's the mental side, right? That's so hard for a lot of guys, right? Is understanding, kind of smoothing out those ebb and flows, right? They're going to go up, they're going to go down, and kind of riding those, and just kind of trying to stay as calm as you can, and enjoying the moment, right? Be in the moment, and really do that. You know,
Like,
um,
I don't mean to cut you off, but
no, you're good.
I'm just gonna give an example right here. Like, before we went to Louisiana, I had one of my worst outings in my career, like of all time, against a team that's 3-20. And then we go to Louisiana and I go 9 innings, 1 run. And then the next weekend we play at home in a conference game and I don't do very well. And it's just like, what's going on? Like in the span of 3 weeks, I had two of my worst outings of my career. And honestly, you really can't shy away from it. You just got to take it by the horns and kind of figure out where you're going to go. Because if you're just going to lay down and be like, "Oh, I'm terrible," then you actually are going to be terrible. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, right? I mean, obviously, it's just, yeah, it's keep working, right? Kind of get back in the lab, and kind of, kind of what made you successful before, right? So you just got to kind of keep grinding, and kind of think about those positive moments more than the negative ones, and get back, grab the ball again, get back out on the mound, kind of go back at it. Right.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. Hey, so if you were to, as you think about being at college now, obviously now 3 years, right? You've had that opportunity, a lot of experiences. What have you learned? What have you learned since you've been kind of going through this process over the last 3 years?
So the process for me has been kind of unconventional. But what I've learned is just you just gotta be be yourself at the end of the day because you're the only person that can answer for yourself, nobody else. And honestly, you just have to keep on showing up every day with 100%, 100% attitude, 110% effort. And it's just, even though like being alone on different sides of the country, even though just just being in like a bubble, like of your guys, you just got to keep on, being positive because at the end of the day, if you're not positive, it's just gonna catch up to you and it's just gonna go downhill and you're not gonna have a good experience. So at the end of the day, to have a good experience, like in college in general, you just have to show up and just try and be positive. That's
Yeah.
what I learned. It's just positivity is and just the positive vibes just help your experience in the gist of things.
That's awesome, man. I mean, honestly, I like that because we know that not everything's going to go your way, not only in college, not only in just, on the field, but obviously in life in general. Right. And so it's, how do you kind of, handle those moments? And obviously the more experiences you've had, that's kind of having that positive outlook just is only going to help you. So what's your plans this summer? What are you planning on doing? Doing any summer ball this summer or anything of that nature?
It's March and I still don't know where I'm going this summer.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't know it's just based on how the season goes, honestly, and how many
Okay.
innings I get and what my performance is to help me put me into a league that I want to be in or into a situation that I want to be in. But it all depends. I'm not really freaking out about it. Maybe if I was a freshman, I was freaking out about it, but
Yeah.
I'm not really freaking about it right now. But
Okay.
no
Okay.
plans as of now. I mean, there's plans behind the scenes with people that I've been working with about it, but nothing on the surface.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Obviously, I mean, yeah, I think you're right. Right. I mean, I think it's freshmen. That's kind of what is like the big thing, right? It's like I have to find something, but as you kind of get older and get into the game, right? I mean, it's all going to work itself out. There's people that are kind of working behind there, so obviously, I mean, you've been through quite a bit, both, obviously playing at the travel ball level and seeing a lot of different things. I know, just kind of talking offline a little bit, just talking about some of the different levels and things of that nature. Obviously for us, I mean, one of the focuses that why we like doing this is, really just to kind of have, the experiences to be able to share with like a lot of our youth and high school guys, right? Give them kind of the what to expect, like what are they getting ready to go to, right? Maybe as a youth guy, they're obviously 5 6 7 8 years away from this, but the work ethic maybe that they need, and then our high school guys are 2 3 4 years potentially away from stepping into that college for the first time, and understanding kind of what they're going to be up against, and what they should be doing both from a recruiting standpoint maybe for themselves, but more specifically just preparation, right? How should they be preparing their bodies and their minds and the work ethic that they should have? If you had a message for those guys as you were kind of using your experiences, what would you share with them?
From from being in high school to being in college, I've kind of looked back on some things that I've did and some things that I've honestly done. Um, but a good message for these young guys: take pride in everything that you do. Take pride in what you do in the weight room and how you do it. Take pride in how you show up to practice because that's what matters. on the circuit and stuff like that. Take pride in how you show up to games. Take pride in your pregame. Take pride in your craft. Take pride in your nutrition. Honestly, just and take pride on the mental side of things, and paying attention to the game and stuff like that, and knowing what you bring to the table. Because at the end of the day, if you don't do any of that, you're gonna be in trouble, and you're gonna be freaking out when you're 18, 19, 20 years old, and you're having to fight every day of your life to get an at bat or to get an inning. And if you don't take pride, you're just gonna just go down the hole of what if, and what if I did this, what if I'd done that. And honestly, just another key thing is just also have a positive outlook on everything and trust the process. Because at the end of the day, the industry, college baseball, is gonna put a number next to your name, is gonna give you what you're worth. You think you're worth something, but they think you're worth the other thing. And I think that's where I kind of got in trouble in some situations, because I thought I was worth something. I thought I was worth going to a different school, or a better school, or an SEC school, or a Power Five school. But at the end of the day, like, just in college terms, the college picks you. You don't pick the college, so you just have to go with your gut in that situation, and also have a positive outlook, and going to that school that picks you, and maybe you do something special, and then that's where your life turns around. So just take pride in what you do, and show up with a positive outlook, and trust the process, because the process is a long one. Trust me.
Hey man, I appreciate it. I'm glad I'm glad we've had an opportunity to catch up. I thank you obviously for doing this. I think it's really really good for our guys. I think it's good for everybody just to kind of hear again, just the day to day life of what it is like to kind of go through the process of coming out of high school and committing early, obviously as a junior, and then going to a Division 1, and then the reality of all that. So I'm definitely excited, man. I love watching and following your success, and I appreciate you kind of going through this process with us and sharing your insights to it, because I think it's good for a lot of people out there. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck, man. And I'm excited to continue to just follow you and your successes along the way. I know you're going to be successful for sure. So
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I appreciate you.
yeah, absolutely, man. Well, hey guys, that wraps up episode number 2 here with High Point Junior left-handed pitcher Brett Wozniak on our College Spotlight series. Again, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Canes Baseball GL for more live interviews, games, player spotlights, and more throughout the season. We'll be back in another week with Roman Kuntz, Division 1 outfielder from Morehead State University. So have a good evening, and we'll talk to you guys soon.